How's it going, everybody? So we're back talking some more Pretty Little Liars Summer School on the channel with the final episode of the season. We have reached the season finale for this show, and I can't deny, I've had a lot of fun talking about this show each and every week with you guys, interacting in the comment section about who we all think is Bloody Rose from week to week. To be completely honest, this was my first time covering anything Pretty Little Liars related, so it was fun getting in on the fun with the fandom here. But all good things must come to an end. We finally are getting some answers for all of our questions with this finale, while potentially setting up some exciting plot threads for a next season. I was pretty happy that we did open up the episode on a positive note that Kelly didn't die after all. Farron put her lifeguard training to good use to swim out there and give her CPR. And not only that, but Mrs. Beasley immediately was scratched off the list of potential suspects on possibly being Bloody Rose, because there's just no possible way she could have been out here, done all this stuff while she was locked inside the closet. Personally, I didn't think she was Bloody Rose anyways. Everything that revolved around Kelly's mom just felt like the definition of a red herring. Don't get me wrong, I overall enjoyed the finale, but part of me wonders, because of the fact that it's 8 episodes and not 10 episodes like season 1, if they did have to cram a whole lot of stuff. Because it seems like with the finale, a lot of stuff is hitting the fan all at once. Nobody can be trusted, more and more people are getting kidnapped by Bloody Rose, even Rose Waters herself gets kidnapped at one point. A detail they brought up that I thought was kind of funny, because it was something that we joked about all season long, was the possibility that Bloody Rose Waters is attacking all these different mothers in the town, which would explain why, unfortunately, most of season 2, the mothers just were absent. Surprisingly, I guess there wasn't too many people to investigate to this point anyways, but we finally got around to the girls going to investigate Mrs. Lansbury over the possibility that maybe she potentially is Bloody Rose Waters. She's someone that was definitely on my radar of suspects, along with people like Jen, which, speaking of, she barely has any screen time in the finale. I wasn't a big fan of one of her scenes, though, because she plants that seed in Noah's mind, bringing up Christian and Johnny being potential suspects because they're new boyfriends, causes a whole big disagreement over it, kind of ignoring the fact that she also could kind of be lumped into that group as well as new relationships. To be fair to Jen, though, I do understand why you would be skeptical of the new boyfriends, because that is a typical horror movie trope. It's just unfortunate that someone like Imogen, who has a lot of trust issues, is kind of breaking psychologically half the time, goes and knocks out Johnny and throws him in the freezer, because turns out all of the dead bodies that we've been seeing throughout the season were just in their freezer this entire time. Admittedly, it did kind of slip my mind that we had basically never seen any of these bodies found, so we had to imagine they were somewhere being stashed away. I just never thought about it, I guess. On top of that, then you have Tabby going over to Christian's house, skulking about, then falling down the steps when she saw Bloody Rose and gets kidnapped in the process. At this point, it's kind of become tradition that Mouse goes on Spooky Spaghetti and then something really terrible happens, and once again, it does happen. She gets on Spooky Spaghetti, she sees that the reckoning is coming. Then we realize after all of this time that these servers for Spooky Spaghetti are actually inside of the Orpheum, the movie theater. From the moment that they said that these servers are in the back of the movie theater, I did kind of piece together at least part of the plot, the reveals, if you will. We've got to talk about this room that Tabby wakes up in, because I thought it was pretty damn cool. It's insanely twisted looking. The architecture, all the masks everywhere, Bloody Rose and her minions are all dressed up. After an entire season of build-up to this big reveal on who Bloody Rose Waters is, maybe it's just me, but I was expecting it to be a little bit more exciting, a bigger reveal. It just felt very nonchalant, the reveal that after all this time, Bloody Rose Waters was Mrs. Lansbury. Once we found out the entire plan, however, it felt like to me, Bloody Rose Waters kind of got undermined, because she pretty much was just the muscle. And if you couldn't tell by now, the other reveal is the fact that Wes, this entire time, has been helping out Bloody Rose to enact this plan. It seemed pretty obvious to me that Wes was going to be involved in some shape or form. I didn't think he was going to be Bloody Rose, because he's not a woman. From the moment that Christian and Tabby went over his house, you saw all those masks and Spooky Spaghetti was open, and he just conveniently kept disappearing over and over again. It seemed pretty clear to me he was going to be involved in some shape or form. Wasn't expecting him to be the overarching mastermind to everything. His entire plan very much felt reminiscent to something you would see out of a Scream movie. Once we learn his motivations on how he wanted to craft the ultimate horror movie as his magnum opus, it very much felt akin to what we saw as the big reveal in Scream 2, where there were two killers, where the mastermind was Billy Loomis's mom, and then Mickey was the muscle of the group. It very much felt like they kind of had that dynamic going on here. It was even wilder while all this was going down was the reckoning that was being inflicted upon the rest of the group, being chased by Bloody Rose's followers. There's two sequences in this that were probably the funniest parts in my opinion. Firstly, it was them calling up Jen to get advice on how to hotwire a vehicle. cool. The biggest one of them all was when Farron just straight up kicks Bloody Rose in the face. In a similar vein to season 1, where Imogen had her big final girl moment, I actually loved the big final girl moment that Tabby had at the end of this season. A lot of great tension was built throughout. I mean, she jumps through a window and beats up all these different minions in the forest by herself. Not gonna lie though, I did expect a little bit of a struggle between her and West, at least some type of big final battle, but she just runs at him with a pitchfork and takes him out. There was basically no fight at all. Also, on the bright side, they did save Dr. Sullivan. Honestly, until they opened up that door, I kind of forgot about her being missing to begin with. For the most part, it is a very happy ending. The girls all passed their exam. Some of their love lives are a bit in limbo. I was kind of bummed out at potentially the fact that Imogen and Johnny are no longer, though I guess I kind of get why he'd feel a little awkward after what just happened to him. It seemed like we are teasing a big bad for a third season with the way that we showcase all these different groups of people in the hallways with these purge masks on. Big stinger, unfortunately, is Archie Waters coming back, stabbing Dr. Sullivan, presumably to her death. You never know. I guess there's that possibility maybe she survives, but it's not looking good, at least from the last scene. Personally, the main thing that I want to know that we just kind of ignored in the finale was that fact that Imogen saw her mom's face when she ripped off Bloody Rose Waters' bandages, and we just ignored that for the rest of the season. But never my thoughts on the finale. Make sure you share your thoughts down below. What did you think of this finale for Pretty Little Liars Summer School? Did you like the finale? Did you not like the finale? How did you feel about all the questions that were answered here? Big reveals on who Bloody Rose is, but also, where do you think we're going to go with a potential third season? Either way, make sure you share your thoughts down below, because the fun of this is that conversation with you guys in the comment section. Thank you guys, as always, check out videos. I always do appreciate it. Despite Pretty Little Liars Summer School ending, I do have a lot of other content on the channel that you may enjoy, so make sure you check that out as well. But until the next time, I'll see you guys later.